Namaste everyone. Welcome back to A Voice of Light. Today, we are going to talk about a book that has influenced millions of people around the world and continues to be one of the most popular books on the power of the mind. The book is The Power of Your Subconscious Mind, written by Dr. Joseph Murphy. And the basic idea of this book is actually very simple. Your mind has more influence over your life than you may realize. Now, before we go any further, let me ask you something. Have you ever wanted to change a habit, but somehow found yourself doing the same thing again and again? Maybe you tell yourself, I won't worry so much anymore, but then 5 minutes later, you are worrying again. Maybe you say, I need to become more confident. But when an opportunity comes, that little voice inside says, what if I fail? Or perhaps you have worked really hard towards something, but deep inside you keep thinking, maybe I'm not good enough. Have you experienced this ever? If yes, then this book has something interesting to say about it. Dr. Joseph Murphy explains that our mind has two broad aspects, the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. Think of your conscious mind as the part you are using right now. It's the part that makes decisions. It thinks, it analyzes, it says, I'm going to wake up early tomorrow. But then there is the subconscious mind. It's more like the background system running inside you. It stores patterns, beliefs, memories, habits, and emotional associations. And here's where things become interesting. You may consciously say, I want to succeed. But if deep inside you believe people like me don't succeed, then that hidden belief can influence the way you behave. You might avoid opportunities, you might give up too quickly, you might constantly doubt yourself. And then you may look at the result and say, see, I knew I couldn't do it. The book encourages us to become aware of these hidden beliefs because sometimes the biggest obstacle in our life isn't what's happening outside, it's what we have already accepted inside. Think about a child who repeatedly hears, you are not smart, you always make mistakes, you will never achieve anything. That child may grow up and become an intelligent, capable adult, but somewhere inside, that old message may still be playing. That's how powerful repeated thoughts can become. And this brings us to one of the central ideas of the book. What we repeatedly think about and emotionally accept can influence our subconscious mind. Now, this doesn't mean that simply thinking about something will magically make it happen. And that's an important distinction. If you sit on your sofa and say, I am going to become a successful business person, but never learn anything, never work, and never take action, positive thoughts alone won't build the business. The real value of the idea is that your inner beliefs can influence your behavior. If you believe you are capable of learning, you are more likely to try. If you believe failure is the end, you may stop after the first setback. So, the book asks us to change the conversation we have with ourselves. Let's take a simple example. Imagine you have an interview tomorrow. One voice says, I'm going to mess this up. I will forget everything. They are probably going to reject me. If you keep repeating those thoughts, you're likely to walk into the interview already nervous. Now, imagine replacing them. I have prepared. I don't have to be perfect. I will stay calm and give my best. Notice something important. You are not lying to yourself. You're not saying, I am guaranteed to get the job. You're simply giving your mind a healthier instruction. That's a much more practical way to use positive thinking. The book also talks a lot about the power of repetition. Think about learning to drive. In the beginning, you have to consciously think about everything: mirror, brake, gear, indicator. But after enough practice, much of it becomes automatic. That's how habits work. The subconscious mind helps us perform things we have practiced repeatedly. And this applies not only to physical habits but also to mental habits. If you repeatedly practice fear, worry, and self doubt, those reactions can become automatic. But if you repeatedly practice calmness, gratitude, confidence, and constructive thinking, you may gradually develop new mental patterns. Another important idea in the book is visualization. Before doing something important, imagine yourself doing it calmly and successfully. For example, if you're afraid of speaking in front of people, don't spend the entire night imagining everyone laughing at you. Instead, close your eyes. Imagine yourself walking on the stage, taking a breath, looking at the audience, speaking clearly, and finishing confidently. Again, this isn't magic, it's mental preparation. You are giving your mind a different picture to work with. And here is another beautiful part of the book: the power of words before sleep. Dr. Murphy suggests that moments before falling asleep can be particularly useful for giving the mind constructive thoughts. So, instead of going to bed replaying everything that went wrong during the day, you can spend a few quiet minutes thinking about what you want to improve, what you are grateful for, and what kind of person you want to become. Imagine ending your day with, I am at peace, I am learning, I trust myself. Tomorrow is another opportunity. That's a very different way to go to sleep. Now, let's talk about something almost everyone struggles with: worry. We worry about money, we worry about relationships, we worry about our health, we worry about our future. And sometimes we don't even know exactly what we are worried about. The mind just keeps going. What if this happens? What if that happens? What if everything goes wrong? The book encourages us to replace endless worry with constructive thought and action. If there is something you can do, do it. If you can prepare, prepare it. If you can ask for help, ask. And if something is completely out of your control, then learn to release it. Because worrying about a problem is not the same as solving it. Now, there is one idea from this book that I think is especially powerful for everyday life. Your subconscious mind doesn't have to remain your enemy. You can begin working with it. Start noticing the things you repeatedly tell yourself. When you make a mistake, do you say, I am useless? Or do you say, I made a mistake, I will learn from it? When something doesn't work, do you say, nothing ever works for me? Or do you say, this didn't work, let's try another way? That small change in language may seem insignificant, but repeated thousands of times, These thoughts can shape the way you see yourself, and the way you see yourself influences the way you live. So, if we take the entire message of the power of your subconscious mind and make it very simple, it would be this. Be careful about what you repeatedly plant in your mind, because your thoughts becomes beliefs. Your beliefs influence your actions. Your actions create habits, and your habits gradually shape your life. But remember, this doesn't mean that everything that happens to your life is your fault. Life contains circumstances we cannot control. We can get sick. We can lose someone. We can face financial problems. Other person can make choices that hurt us. Positive thinking doesn't erase those realities. What it does is help us decide how we respond. And sometimes that response is where our real power begins. So, tonight, before you go to sleep, try something very simple. Put your phone away, take a few deep breaths, and ask yourself, what is the one thought I want to carry into tomorrow? Maybe it's I am capable, I am learning, I am worthy of peace, I am strong, I am confident, I can handle one step at a time. Choose any one. Repeat it gently, not as a magic spell, but as a reminder. Because changing your life doesn't always begin with one huge decision. Sometimes it begins with changing one small thought, and then another, and then another, until one day you realize that the voice inside your head has become kinder, calmer, and stronger. And perhaps that's the real power of the subconscious mind. Not that it magically creates everything we want, but that it can help shape the person we become. If you enjoyed this book summary, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to A Voice of Light, and share it with someone who might need this message today. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep becoming the best version of yourself. This is Voice of Light signing off. Thank you. Namaste.